For me, this story began in 1990 when I saw a project called One World, One Voice. This project featured a large number of world musicians collaborating to produce a 52-minute long piece of music. It began with a reading by Robbie Robertson, whose debut album, incidentally, was one of my favourite releases from the 1980s.
This we know. All things are connected. Like the blood which unites one family. All things are connected. Whatever befalls the earth, befalls the sons of the earth. Man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself. This we know.
The thing that startled me about this quote was the attribution. That these words were spoken over 100 years earlier revealed a remarkable prescience. I was even more impressed a couple of years later when I came across a longer excerpt on a poster. This is what I read. How can you buy or sell the sky, the warmth of the land? The idea is strange to us. Yet we do not own the freshness of the air or the sparkle of the water. Every part of this earth is sacred to my people. When the buffaloes are all slaughtered, the wild horses all tamed, the secret corners of the forest heavy with the scent of many men, and the views of the ripe hills blotted by the talking wires, where is the thicket? Gone. Where is the eagle? Gone. With the spread of the World Wide Web in the late 90s, I resolved to track down the speech in its entirety. To my disappointment, I discovered that what I had read was largely a fabrication, a rewritten version of Seattle's speech designed to promote an environmental message for a film. What this page presented to me as the original version was of quite a different character. This speech was laced with bitterness and regret, but to my mind is more moving. Here is the first part of that quote. Yonder sky has wept tears of compassion on our fathers for centuries untold, and which to us looks eternal may change. Today it is fair, tomorrow it may be overcast with clouds. My words are like the stars that never set. What Seattle says, the great chief Washington can rely upon with as much certainty as our pale-faced brothers can rely upon the return of the seasons. The son of the white chief says his father sends us greetings of friendship and goodwill. This is kind, for we know he has little need of our friendship in return, because his people are many. They are like the grass that covers the vast prairies, while my people are few and resemble the scattering trees of a storm-swept plain. The great, and I presume also good, white chief sends us word that he wants to buy our lands, but is willing to allow us reserve enough to live on comfortably. This indeed appears generous, for the red man no longer has the rights that he need respect, and the offer may be wise also, for we are no longer in need of a great country. There was a time when our people covered the whole land, as the waves of the wind-ruffled sea cover its shell-paved floor. But that time has long since passed away with the greatness of the tribes now almost forgotten. I will not mourn over our untimely decay, nor reproach my pale-faced brothers for hastening it, for we too may have been somewhat to blame. When our young men grow angry at some real or imaginary wrong, and disfigure their faces with black paint, their hearts also are disfigured and turn black, and then their cruelty is relentless and knows no bounds, and our old men are not able to restrain them. But let us hope that hostilities between the red man and his pale-faced brothers may never return. He would have everything to lose and nothing to gain. True it is that revenge with our young braves is considered gain, even at the cost of their own lives. But old men who stay at home in times of war, and old women who have sons to lose, know better. Our great father Washington, for I presume he is now our father as well as yours, since George has moved his boundaries to the north. Our great and good father, I say, sends us word by his son, who, no doubt, is a great chief among his people, that if we do as he desires, he will protect us. His brave armies will be to us a bristling wall of strength, and his great ships of war fill our harbours, so that our ancient enemies far to the northward, the Sismians and the Hydas, will no longer frighten our women and old men. Then will he be our father, and we will be his children. But can this ever be? Your God loves your people and hates mine. He folds his strong arms lovingly around the white man and leads him as a father leads his infant son. But he's forsaken his red children. He makes your people wax strong every day, and soon they will fill all the land, while my people are ebbing away, like a fast receding tide that will never flow again. The white man's God cannot love his red children, or he would protect them. They seem to be orphans and can look nowhere for help. How then can we become brothers? How can your father be our father, and bring us prosperity, and awaken in us dreams of returning greatness? As I said, I found these words to be more moving, but that's not quite the end of the story. Even the veracity of this text is in doubt. This version first appeared in 1887 and was presented by Dr. Henry Smith as a record of a speech given in 1855. There has been made the suggestion that this version of the speech was created by Smith himself, who wished to put into Seattle's mouth words reflecting his own despair at the decline of the Native Americans. This is merely speculation, however, and it's still far more likely to be genuine than the more often quoted versions. Now, it may occur to many Americans watching this to ask why an Australian is making pronouncements on American history. Well, that's fair enough. I can't tell you what to think about your own nation's history. There is, however, a broader issue I do wish to address. Australia has a history of colonising an already occupied land similar to that of the United States. In 1996, then Prime Minister John Howard decried the black armband view of history, which saw Australia's history as a disgraceful story of imperialism. He may have had a point, and he did moderate his comments a little, but what followed was ugly. Rather than simply moving the more extreme elements on one side, historians found themselves polarised into one of two camps. In the end, Australian history suffered. Current Prime Minister Kevin Rudd has since attempted to call for a genuinely balanced view, a view which confronts hard truths in Australia's history, but also celebrates the achievements of explorers, pioneers and entrepreneurs. It remains to be seen if the major names in Australian history take the Prime Minister's words as a call for calm or unwanted interference. I personally think that history should be about truth, both good and bad, rather than taking sides. The truth may look less impressive on a poster, but it gives us a deeper understanding of the complex people of our past. That's more or less where I intended to finish this video, but there are a few people who defend the modern recreation of Seattle's words. What does it matter, they argue, if they were not his words? But if these words contain meaning, they should be respected. Well, my first reaction is that obviously context mattered. A noble lie is still a lie, and saying that the words of an environmentalist from the 1970s are the words of an 1850s Indian chief is not even noble. But then consider Homer's retelling of the Trojan War. The fact that many of the events cited are clearly spurious does not prevent it from being a great work of art. Certainly the modern version of Seattle's speech has moments of poetic merit. From now on, that is what this version should rely on. Treat the modern work as fiction, and if the words are truly great, then they will stand on their own. Do not, however, let the success of those words be dependent on a lie, no matter how beautiful that lie is.